Construction for a new fire station is underway for Butte County firefighters.
Yeah, the old building has just been demolished, but some firefighters believe one thing will remain: the ghost that haunts it. Action News reporter Audrey Asistio has more on the mysterious guest that's left a number of unsolved mysteries.
Butte County firefighters at Fire Station 55 in Bangor are getting rid of the old and making way for the new. Construction workers just finished demolishing the more than 60-year-old fire station and will begin constructing a new building on the same location Monday.
It'll be pretty much a structure that's current with this time and age and what we need as a fire department.
The public surely needs it and wants it, and our staff will enjoy the use of it.
But an unsolved mystery remains for firefighters who work here. Will the ghost that haunts the station stay put?
It is. It's not a maybe. It is haunted. The ghost is very applicable. Don't know if it's a male or female or exactly what caused it to do what it does, but we get along.
Fire Captain Scott McLean says the haunting has been going on since the early 50s.
Usually at nighttime, things will be moved. You'll hear certain noises in the middle of the night that aren't coherent with as far as the building creaking or anything of that nature. It does make its presence. Its common feat is to sit on somebody's chest and you're unable to move for a couple minutes.
McLean says the ghost doesn't scare them, but it does have a tendency to get in their way once in a while. And with the new building underway, some suggest construction workers may also experience some paranormal activity.
The ghost will come with us. It's a given. We're not worried about it.
In Butte County, Audrey Asistio for Action News.
I think they're serious. Maybe, who knows? Some firefighters believe the ghost may be a miner from the gold mining era. As for the fire station, construction will be complete in about 6 months.
The Haven Humane Animal Shelter in Redding is usually crawling with cats this time of year, but right now the cat room is completely empty. That's because the shelter was forced to euthanize all 104 of its cats and kittens due to an outbreak of feline panleukopenia, also known as feline distemper. The shelter's CEO says the first cases showed up on Friday.
On Saturday, another one broke out with it, another one Sunday. At that point, my veterinarian, Dr. Brawny, decided it was time to euthanize the entire place.
Workers are scouring the area with bleach and disinfectants, and the shelter will not start accepting cats again until Thursday. A man wanted by Redding police in connection with a gang-related shooting is now wanted for murder in Southern California. Authorities in Riverbank say Daniel Pantoja is one of 3 people suspected of shooting a man to death outside an AM/PM last week. Redding police believe Pantoja attacked a man at the Circle K on Hartnell Drive in June, then shot at him while he was driving on Saturn Skyway.
Racers from all over the country are gathering in Oroville this week in hopes of capturing a national championship. Action News reporter Brian Callahan takes a look at why Oroville was chosen to host this year's event.
More than 100 drivers spent Monday racing around the South Forebay in their powerboats, preparing for the stock, modified, and junior national championships.
Most of these people you'll see here racing these boats have a day-to-day blue-collar job, maybe an office job somewhere or something like that. These are not major money investments.
Those blue-collar racers from 24 different states in Canada hold several boats across the country, hoping to take home a national title. Officials are just happy the American Powerboat Association chose Oroville over 3 other cities for this year's championship.
Went back to Detroit and put on a presentation. We were selected. And the 3 years clicked by as we put the parts together, and here we are today.
Looking around the lake, it's easy to see that powerboat racing is a family sport. You don't have to look further than the Howensteins. Fred and his 2 sons live in 3 different states, but come together every year for the Nationals.
It's just a part of our lives to come to the Nationals every summer, no matter whether we were in college or now that we're grown up and have families. We still come back to get the family together to race.
Organizers have set rules that limit the cost of buying and maintaining a boat, which makes racing fair for everyone.
We pride ourselves in the fact that they're so evenly handicapped and matched that you have to be a really, really good driver.
In Oroville, Brian Callahan, Action News.
The powerboat racing will continue through Saturday at the South Forebay. Admission to all the races is free, but organizers say the Parks Department may charge a $4 parking fee.
After 6 years in the works, the Center for the Performing Arts on the Pleasant Valley High School campus is complete. The $10.8 million building will serve as the theater for all Chico Unified Schools. Band and choir students also will be settling into the new classrooms located behind the Grand Theater. The new facility will give the theater tech students hands-on training with state-of-the-art equipment.
It's targeted for the students in a way that gives them a professional environment to be operating within.
The project was funded by Measure A. It was passed in 1998 to develop new or existing comprehensive high school campuses. Tonight, the freshman parents will be the first to see the new Performing Arts Center for orientation.
Enloe Medical Center is one step closer to completion with its ongoing renovation and expansion. Action News reporter Derek Demo visited the hospital today where the construction continues, giving it a fresh new look.
This really gives us some extra breathing room, and it gives us private rooms for all of our patients.
The construction continues at Enloe Medical Center, but a major portion of the project is now nearly complete. Enloe's Century project is moving along as planned, and an end is now in sight. The medical center recently finished renovation of one of its patient towers, which was given a new look to help transition the overall appearance of all the buildings.
It is really 7 expansions that have been made that make the hospital what it is today, and this just ties all of them together.
A newly built main tower is still under construction. It should be up and running by summer of 2011. The building will bring Enloe's private room count up from 150 rooms to 229.
After the main tower is done, we'll be going back through these rooms and renovating them to bring them architecturally up to finishes and upgrades just that make them look nicer.
The $172 million Century project will also add on 13 additional operating rooms, a new lobby, and will eventually include a new emergency department. In Chico, I'm Derek Demo for Action News.
Well, the new emergency facility will be Enloe's next project after the main tower is complete. It's expected to be done by winter of 2012.
Girls are hitting puberty earlier than ever. It's a trend that could have harmful short and long-term consequences. Erica Edwards explains in tonight's Health Watch.
Young girls' bodies are maturing faster than their brains can keep up. A new study from Cincinnati Children's Hospital finds 42% of African American girls have hit puberty by age 8. Little girls in teenage bodies.
And simply because one is physically more mature does not mean they're any more socially mature or psychologically mature.
This study looks at how many 7- and 8-year-old girls recently showed signs of puberty and compares the numbers to a similar study from 13 years ago. Over that time period, the age at which girls hit puberty decreased among all races. And even though the percentage of young white girls entering puberty isn't as high as other races, their numbers doubled. Researchers say the rise in childhood obesity could be one cause for the increase, as well as environmental toxins.
Whether food that they've eaten or products that are used for personal care products, as well as products that could be used at their homes.
Other research has linked an early puberty with an increased risk for breast cancer. For that reason, this study looked specifically at breast maturity in young girls. Whether that also plays a role in cancer development remains to be seen. What's for sure is that little girls are growing up faster than ever. Erica Edwards, NBC News.
Researchers are beginning studies on environmental exposures that could be contributing to earlier development among girls. A new study shows belly bulge can be deadly for older adults, even those who aren't overweight or obese by other measures. It's one of the largest studies to examine the dangers of abdominal fat. The findings suggest both men and women with the biggest waistlines have twice the risk of dying over a decade when compared to those with the smallest tummies. That's also the case for people whose weight is normal by the body mass index. It's estimated that more than half of older men and more than 70% of older women have bigger waistlines than recommended. And like something out of a science fiction movie, new research aims to get the body to regenerate its own cells, possibly paving the way for growing new limbs or organs. Using lab mice, researchers at Stanford University say they've been able to coax the animal's muscle cells to start dividing and growing again. The research is in its very early stages, but scientists say it may someday help people, such as letting heart attack patients regrow damaged heart muscles or help amputees regrow limbs.
Turning now from your health to your money, good and bad news when it comes to the housing market. Real estate tracker Zillow.com reports more foreclosures in the second quarter of this year. Not as many so-called underwater mortgages are being reported, though. That's where the amount owed on the mortgage exceeds the home's value. But why is it a positive sign for the housing market? Analysts say it could mean that in the not-so-distant future, more Americans may be able to sell and not go into foreclosure or default on their loans.
And if you're trying to sell your house, we'll take an in-depth look at the pros and cons of the for sale by owner.
I'm Stacy Johnson. You're going to pay a real estate agent thousands of dollars to sell your home. Make sure it's worth it by hiring the right one. I'll tell you how to find the perfect realtor just ahead on Money Talks News.
And it was a beautiful day across the North State. It looks like even cooler weather headed our way. We'll talk about just how cool it's going to get when Action News returns.